Hi.
Hi, it's Laura in the house.
Vampires.
Yeah. Vampires. That sound good?
Every time I'm like, where do we even start?
Talk about, oh my god.
Okay, so it's Halloween sweater weather. Check this out.
Boom.
Yeah. Boom.
It's beautiful.
It's so impressive.
Beautiful sweater.
So.
Jaw-dropping.
Draw-dropping.
Jaw-dropping sweater.
Thank you.
Draws. Like,
Jaw-dropping.
panty dropping sweater, honestly, Emma. It is just...
I'm not saying that actually. Never mind. I'll say
I'll say it. Anyways.
Hi.
Welcome back to the Mankheads podcast. I'm your host, Emma. I'm joined here by some very special guests.
Hello.
Besties. You guys can introduce yourselves. I'll let you do that.
First.
Yeah, I'm Katrina.
I'm Laura.
And we are Do It For The Bit.
Yeah, we're
sometimes.
doing this podcast.
Yes. And we're also friends from college. That's how we met.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're, if you hadn't already gathered, we're talking about vampires. So
Yeah.
Vampires.
Vampire stuff.
Ooh.
So let me just do like a little, I haven't been doing hot takes this season because
There's no Diego to
believe it
bounce
or
off
not,
of.
like when no one is reacting to a hot take, it's just like not that fun to do.
You're just like, here's what I think. Hope y'all like that. But keep it pushing.
I have been doing, go ahead.
I was just saying, the point of a hot take is to have someone mess with you and be like, you're
No
crazy.
way.
No, you're insane.
You're
To have
insane.
someone
You're
gaslight
insane.
you over it, right?
Yeah.
But I have been doing equal parts of showing and telling. So
Okay.
I was a vampire for Halloween one time when I was a kid.
Aw.
Thanks to my mom, I'm like a classic, like
You're like serving
1930s,
like classic.
like
It's giving like Nosferatu.
Nosferatu? Girl, that is something you've only ever read and never heard out loud.
yeah, but Nosferatu. No, we got you. We got you.
Because my boy Nosferatu. We go way back. We go way. How do you say it?
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Do you cuss on this?
Yeah.
So, I just want to make sure.
Because I fucking messed up just now.
Okay, so, I've been watching lots of vampire stuff lately in preparation for this, but also just because, like, I don't know why, I've just been, like, in a vampire mood. Like, it's been the vibe to me for the past, like,
Maybe a year.
to be honest with you.
It's not been a short phase.
It has not been
Maybe
a
it's
short
not a phase.
Yeah.
Mom, it's not a phase, Mom.
It's not.
It's not. Okay. So, also, just, like, it's Texas. It's finally cooling down. That's really nice. We're, like, finally in fall time.
Twilight weather. It's Twilight weather.
It is.
It's actually crazy. Like, it dropped to like 70 degrees and I felt 1,000% better and more creative. And I was like, life's beautiful.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Turns
it
out
was-
my brain was just cooking for an entire summer and it was just scrambled eggs up
Like an
there.
egg on the sidewalk.
It was horrible. I wasn't functioning.
Oh, have you guys planned your Halloween costumes yet? Question mark.
We've been talking about it.
Somewhat.
Okay.
I don't know.
I need to make myself a plan. I'm usually like, I have a plan and I just don't have a single plan right now.
You're a planner,
You
girl.
are a
and you're
planner.
like, they're good. They're niche. They're specific. It makes sense to you, and they're so well like thought out. I really.
Laura and I were talking about this, but we actually don't know what you're supposed to do for Halloween, ages 23 to 27.
Like, what are you supposed
That's
to
so
do?
fair. Yeah.
Because,
What are
like,
you supposed to do?
What are you supposed to
There's
do?
no college house parties to go to.
Yeah, that's weird.
I've moved out of my last like college house.
Yeah.
Where am I? I'm not throwing a party this year. Whose party am I going to? Like
There must
Yours
be.
were so iconic.
Yeah, that's one thing, audience, you must know. Emma Goldstein threw iconic Halloween parties every year.
I did.
Show-stopping. Like, it was like the event. It was the event
It
of
was
the year.
the event of the evening. They were excellent. People, like strangers were in there.
They
People were
Causing
jumping.
havoc.
Like the floor would be like inverting, just boom, boom,
Just a
boom,
little
boom,
bit.
because people were jumping.
Yeah.
There'd be people, little girls dressed up as slutty cowboys throwing up on your couch. Huge bummer.
But it was iconic.
But it was iconic.
Don't
It was
get it twisted.
iconic.
The fact that it was iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite memories.
Having somebody in a discussion. What the fuck were they called?
Discussion board?
No.
discussion class hour.
Yeah, what the fuck?
The one where it's
Lecture.
like you go to class, but it's not the lecture. It's where you just talk in small groups.
What the fuck are those called? Am I like, why am I like,
I know exactly what you're talking
I
about.
graduated from college and then I just forgot everything I know.
The class where you have to go and it's only on Fridays and you just talk to your peers.
Yeah.
Hated
I
those.
want to say like no.
Discussion. discussion section.
Yeah, discussion
or
section.
something.
Sure.
I don't know.
All right,
Let's go
yeah.
with that. Let's go
Having
with that.
someone in your discussion section describe a Halloween party that they went to and it was your party was like fucking insane,
Wait,
to
yeah.
be honest. Yeah, that happened in my 317 discussion section
that's
at some point.
awesome.
I was like, what the fuck? I'm pretty sure.
Were they describing it in a good way?
Or were they
Oh,
like,
yeah. It was
Okay.
like, he was saying it was a
I went to
cool
this
apartment.
crazy
Like, he was talking about
ranger-
the posters on the wall and stuff. And I was like, oh, I know those posters.
That is my house.
Wait.
It's
Speaking
just
of things
interesting.
being so back.
Vampires.
Vampires are so back.
Vampires are so back.
They're so fucking back.
They had
I mean,
to take
hello.
they had to take a hiatus because there was an oversaturation of the vampire market.
Absolutely.
It was for I mean, it was Twilight on top of Vampire Diaries on top of Twilight
Yeah.
for so long.
I mean, like, to be honest, I don't think vampires ever go away. Like,
No.
they never
No,
go
they're
away.
iconic.
Which is a
right?
very
They're
interesting staple of society,
Truly.
given that they're kind of goth, they're weird, they're kind of,
Creepy little guys.
they're creepy. It's like, it's bodily fluids. It's like, it's
body horror. Like,
body
for
horror.
sure, yeah.
It's interesting that they are a pillar of society consistently.
We do not want to let them go.
No,
They're just
no.
so cool though.
They
It's
scratch
despite
some little
all that,
They're
itch.
so sexy.
They're just like it's just something about it, you know?
And my freshman year of college, I took a UGS, and the UGS was basically run by was the professor. She was a British woman who wore full-length black gowns every single day and black lipstick every single day, had an incredibly posh British accent, and wore heeled black like witch boots every single day. And she is married to the professor of vampire studies at UT.
That's love.
Iconic couple.
There's a professor of vampire studies at UT.
Yes,
I wish I
there
would have
is.
known about this. This
Sorry,
is hurting.
he ain't single.
How I'm like, how can I audit one of his classes? Seriously. Okay, that's
But-
iconic.
I ended up writing we read Dracula for that class, obviously, because she was putting us on some shit. She introduced me to absinthe. Anyways,
Right there.
yeah, she had some stories, and she like all of her like cats are like named after like they all have like Latin names.
Are they all named after
That's
like, a
not
different like
Latin.
circle of hell? That'd be cool.
That would be
We
cool.
did talk about circles of hell a lot. Anyways, but she
Came up in class a
Wait,
lot.
so what was the class that she taught?
modernity, the uncanny.
The uncanny of the modernity, right?
Something like that. We talk about Freud and Uncanny Valley and vampires and absinthe and basically anything she was interested in.
Cool.
I love this class. Anyways, but we read Dracula in that class, and I got stuck in a discussion section. That's what they're called. They're called discussion sections.
Yes.
We were right.
Yes.
But I got in my discussion section, and also I'm a freshman. This kid stands up and is like, I like to make the argument that vampires and people's sexualization of them and fascination with them is the same category as being interested in furries.
Huh?
And I was like,
Interesting.
whoa.
No.
That's a hot take.
That is a hot take.
And I also think it's a wrong take.
Yeah.
And I was very interested in his argument. And he was
Same
like,
word.
they're animal people. And I was like, you need more. That furry is something else.
That's something else.
That is like a subcategory of something else. Vampire fascination, tale as old as time. We just find them sexy.
It's just something about the immortal and like
And they're-
morally gray
And they're damned.
And they're bad, but they're not. But like they're souls.
They can't
and
help
it's
but
just-
be bad.
I was looking at like, because I didn't do crazy a ton of research for this, but I was looking at the vampire like just vampire Wikipedia page earlier.
Cool.
And
Just like Bella Swan.
I'm literally
You
that
it's
was
like
one.
Blue Foundation Eyes on Fire was playing in the background, bro.
Exactly.
And you're like, I gotta look something up real quick.
And so I knew that they originated in folklore, right? But apparently they were not like there was a time that they became like sexy and modern, and it was like
Yeah, they did not use to be
it was
sexy.
in the 19th century, like fiction, like when when
Like the
things
book?
like Dracula started coming out.
Interesting.
Didn't
There was something before that.
they used to like bite on the chest, right?
Yes, the
Yes.
original vampires
Bit
were
on the
chest
chest.
fighters,
And then they're like, that's too sexy, we'll bite on the neck.
which is crazy.
Which is also sexy.
yeah, it's like, oh, let's
Either way you lose. Like you
just
lose. You lose.
move
lose.
around this game board.
Big
of
artery down here, big artery up here.
androgynous zones.
Yeah.
Eagles right here.
Oh, there he is, Eagle.
Hey, Egu.
Say hello. But apparently they used to be like they were described as bloated and of ruddy or dark countenance, whatever, like, and then it's saying it's markedly different from today's gaunt, pale vampire, which dates from the early 19th century. Now, I knew, obviously, about, like, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Have you guys ever, like, read Carmilla?
No.
Carmilla is good, and it...
What time period is that?
So, Carmilla actually, like, I found... Okay, so here's how I found... Okay, I'm going, like, out of order of how I want to talk about things, but it's okay. So,
we're having fun.
Carmilla is a novella that was written like 26 years before Bram Stoker's Dracula, and like people know about it, but like I don't think as many people know about it as know about Bram Stoker's Dracula. And it's like really little, but it's also kind of queer. Like it's a kind of it's between these two women. Like this. There's a scourge on the town, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?" Igor, want some attention?
Hi, baby.
Hi. Oh,
that's my son. He's like, Nico. There's a scourge on the town, and this young woman and her servant like comes to stay like at this big estate, and while they're staying there, all this shit is happening in the town, and she's also like preying on the daughter of like the man who like lives there. They're like, so she's like, I don't remember, she's like a teenager, the daughter. Toxic. And they become like friends and stuff, but then it's like, ooh, this like, I don't know. It's definitely queer coded. I don't know if they were like very overtly like this is a sexual relationship. I mean, I read the novella, and like it was interesting because when I was reading it, I was like, it was very predictable, and there were so many like tropes that I'm aware of, but like I know that at the time it was written, it was like
it was pretty original.
Like they were not the tropes.
Interesting.
But actually before, I'm not sure if it was before that too, but there was another one called like The Vampire, and so you know how like
I know about that one.
You know how Mary Shelley like told that story to win a contest, or what did the contest of her and her like
they basically had
bohemian friends?
They had like a dinner party of freaks.
Yeah, and they
basically Dracula and Frankenstein came from like a bet, kind of, right?
I don't know. Yeah, they had a bet about like who could tell the best story or something, and she told Frankenstein, and Lord Byron told a vampire. It wasn't Dracula, but it was like a vampire story, which then later this other guy actually wrote into a novel or whatever.
Right.
But I found out about Carmilla from a YouTube mini like web series where they modernized the story and turned it into like a story that happens in a college dorm where this girl goes to college, and then her like roommate like
sucking the life out of her.
Yeah, and it's like
actually so thing. Real.
Yeah,
that happens to many people.
Accurate depiction of freshman year of college in the dorms. I wouldn't know. I was never lived in a dorm.
I didn't live in a dorm, but my freshman year roommate was crazy. So I understand that.
I lived in a dorm.
She sucked the life out of me. You had a vampire roommate,
and my roommate did suck. She was awful.
Microaggressions.
So
vampires.
Oh my god! Wait, yeah, I remember this. Okay, I listened to that episode. I remember this.
It's the microaggressions for me.
Yeah. Okay, so vampires are so fucking back. There's so many things to back this up. Like I said, they never went away.
They don't ever go away.
They literally never went away. Okay?
They just like chill in the shadows.
But so I don't actually know anything about this one. Have y'all heard of El Conde?
No.
Yes.
So I think it's like taking like an actual story about like a Chilean dictator and then like but making him like a vampire in the movie. It's a movie that came out this year.
It's a
black comedy horror film. Pablo Larraín is the director. And yeah, it's like taking the story of this like Chilean dictator guy and like but he's like a vampire in it.
That's like one of my watch lists.
It's like it's popping off. People are talking about it.
Okay.
I don't really actually know anything about it besides like literally the few things that I just said. So, but like I'm interested in anyway, that has recently come out. Okay. Renfield, which I watched.
Yeah. That came out.
It was fine.
Did you like it?
It was fine. It was fine.
It was funny. Okay, can I just say, I saw it. That was like during a time in my life where I was seeing a lot of movies, like whenever the trailer was out. And I'd always go to Alamo Draft House and I had seen that same Renfield trailer. And every single time I saw Nicolas Cage, I was like, holy shit, it's Nicolas Cage. And it made me laugh every single time. I never saw it. I don't really want to, but I just was like, I love Nicolas Cage.
I'm not going to say that you have to watch it. You just don't need to watch it.
I just don't think a vampire movie needs an Awkwafina subplot.
No. Sorry.
unnecessary. So I like Awkwafina, but like
Yes.
I didn't need that, and it was distracting, and I didn't care. I just didn't care. Nicholas Hoult was good, and like so was Nicolas Cage. Like they both
the Knicks had it.
They killed it, and it was very campy, which I'll talk about later. But I just think that that's like it's such an essential like. At least now, like such an essential element of like the genre is like
So
it being
true.
campy because like you can't make a vampire thing now without it being like kind of campy. I
mean,
think.
can we think of any
completely agree.
serious modern non-campy vampire stuff that's good?
No. Beats me.
Exactly.
I mean, the people who try to do vampire horror, they never do it well. So they like, oh well, it's camp. No, you were trying to make something serious, scary.
And it flopped.
Flop.
So yeah, Renfield was fine. It just like came out of like I think I said it in my Letterboxd review. I'm like, if it had been made in 2014, it would have been really funny. It would have been the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But like it's not 2014 anymore.
And ain't that a damn shame?
Ain't that a damn shame? That was the last good year. The last voyage of the Demeter, which I didn't really know anything about. What?
I like the concept of this movie and how everyone hated it.
Everyone hated it? Oh my god, I didn't hear that.
The trailer seemed interesting. I was like, oh, I'm intrigued. And then I never heard anything about it again. I never heard anything about this movie.
It's just a vampire on a boat. They had no other plot going on.
Yeah, okay, wait. Now I'm like scared because I'm like I was interested in watching it because like that's a one single chapter of Bram Stoker's Dracula is spent on the boat as he goes across the ocean. And so like they took the chapter and was like we're focusing on this like part of
which I think is a very interesting idea. I like that. I like being trapped on a boat with a vampire.
It's interesting.
That's funny.
It's just like how much can happen though.
How much can happen?
Who's
Not
in this?
much.
Who was
There's
in this?
only so many dark corridors. I heard it was just like jump scares, and it's like, okay,
That's-
the whole movie is that you're on a boat with a vampire.
Who's in this
And that's
movie?
just not enough.
I'll be honest, I don't know.
I don't think any big
I
names
feel
are
like
in
not
it.
anybody, yeah. I just like found it in my when I was looking at like let me just like prove to myself I'm like I'm right like there's a bunch of vampire stuff coming out right
Yes.
so I saw this and I was like oh, okay yeah
I think 2 vampire movies in 1 year is pretty bonkers.
Yeah.
This
no honestly
Boat
Especially-
Vampire and Renfield, that's pretty crazy.
Renfield,
different.
They're back.
Demeter, El Conde like there's
Three.
also the new actually that might have come out last year but the new show adaptation of Interview with the Vampire
Yes.
they did like
That's-
that which I
that's
tried to
pretty
watch
recent.
and I
It's-
was like I didn't care I don't know
Yeah.
Whatever.
And
I know you tried to watch the movie and you're
I
like
tried watching the movie and I was like, holy shit, this is so bad.
I loved the movie. It was so fun.
I was
It was
like,
so camp.
it was so.
it is camp okay go ahead
It was just, I was watching and I was like, is this all the vampire research that Stephanie Meyer did was watch this movie? Like, it was just, I'm like, this is just Jasper. Like, this is just like, this is, like, and literally everything when you're just like, whoa, how'd you do that? You move so fast. It's that guy from Heathers.
Yeah.
Christian
Right.
Slater
Yes.
I was gonna say JD, and I was like, that's not right.
That's his name is in Heathers.
But
Yeah.
it's just, he's like, whoa, how'd you move so fast? Stupid little voice.
He has nasally little fucking voice.
And it's like, I move the same way as you. It was just like the most like shitty, like I was like, oh my god, this is where Stephanie got this shit.
I love that.
She's
movie.
probably a big fan.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Like I actually think it's like gorgeous in a camp way.
Yeah.
But I remember, and I'll be honest, I haven't watched that movie in like a really long time. I watched it a long time ago. But what I remember was hating the ending of it, just thinking it was like the stupidest fucking thing that could have happened.
I don't remember the ending.
There's
I
like
just
the thing where he
remember
like pops up in the car. Do you know what I'm talking about? He like
Yes,
pops up in the car and it's
yes.
like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
See, I'm like, you don't even want to know. And then the other thing is that it's kind of weird looking back on it that they made Kirsten Dunst kiss grown-ass man Brad Pitt when she was like 9 years old and he was like a grown man. She's talked about that.
She didn't
now,
like that?
And she was like, that was kind of weird.
That is weird. I don't remember that.
And like interviewers would talk to her when she was like a child after that coming
I've
out
seen
and being like,
those.
well, didn't you like, he's so hot, right? Like, didn't you like that? And she was like, I was a child.
I was
Like,
nine.
She's 9.
I wasn't really interested
remember that
in
part
how
at
hot
all.
this grown man was.
Yeah, so
I just thought
that
the
happens.
baby trapping was funny. Like the gay baby trapping. That made me laugh. I do remember that. And I was like, no way that they like gay baby trapped in the Interview with the Vampire.
I didn't get that far in.
It was truly one of my favorite parts. I think it made me laugh.
Brad Pitt has turned. He saw his last sunrise. I think that's about it.
It's definitely further in, bro.
He just had a glass of rat blood as his wine.
Oh, yeah.
Because his mean friend, like, ripped a rat off and drained it. And
yeah.
I was like,
so, because Brad Pitt has the whole thing where he's like, I'm a good vampire. Like, I don't want to eat humans, right? Yeah, okay. I kind of remember the plot of that movie.
I love having, like, Tom Cruise as Lestat. Because, like, it's just so funny. Like,
it's funny.
Tom Cruise
it's fucking Tom Cruise.
as, like, the most flamboyant character. It was just so fun.
The New Orleans setting is cool, too.
I agree. I agree.
Cool. Yeah. So, okay. And then also, okay, the biggest one for me is that it's not out yet, but it's happening. Robert Eggers is making his own version of Nosferatu.
That's right. Nosferatu?
Nosferatu. Fucking
me with Nosferatu in
I'm
town.
so sorry. I just laughed like so hard when you said
that. No, that's fair.
As soon as it came out, I was like, this is a victim of I've read this name and never said it out loud.
I've never heard anyone say it out loud. And no one's ever corrected me because, like, a lot of times, like, during the month, I'm like, I really want to see Nosferatu. Or I don't know how I'm saying it, TBH.
You were ending with a Tau.
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, it's interesting that it's getting a modern adaptation because his, like, look and, like, that story is based in, like, anti-Semitic stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think a lot of people know. There is, like, this big chunk of, like, taking caricatures and, like, mean, like, stuff, anti-Semitic stuff, and they put it all together and they put it with vampires, which is, a lot of people don't know that. And tuberculosis is a huge part of the way people, like, vampires look, because people get very pale and skinny and they cough blood.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, and also there was some other stuff. I'm trying to remember. There's some other things. They get pale, they get sunken eyes, and then I think when people were, like, either people have just died or back in the day whenever there was, like, vampire hunts and stuff, and they would, like, kill people who were, like, already dead, they would look real freaky while they're decaying because their skin would start receding back. So it looked like they'd have claws, but they didn't. It was just their skin was peeling back.
Yeah.
So they looked like they had these, like, scary, like, claws. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting, both, like, fashion and, like, what, like, beauty standards and vampires and stuff. It's all weirdly super connected to tuberculosis
and anti-Semitism.
Well, yeah, one chapter of the vampire story is connected to anti-Semitism, but the sexy vampires are connected to tuberculosis, which I think is super interesting.
That is interesting.
Like the romanticism of the person in the gentleman who, like, coughs and there's a little spot of blood and they fold it up nicely and put it in their pocket. There's something romantic about that.
Little circle glasses on, like Gary Oldman. Okay.
Exactly.
Other things that I've been noticing that are, like, different but related. So we were talking about, like, body horror. I just think, like, blood and gore is just, like, also just in right now.
So in.
It's kind of just in right now.
Get your stage blood, girl.
Get your stage blood.
Let's do it.
We have Doja Cat with her demons paint the town red, like whatever, right? Looking demonic as fuck, and everyone thinks that she's in the Illuminati.
we talked about this last week. It's so annoying. It's so
people
annoying.
are so stupid.
People have no context. People have no critical thinking anymore. I swear.
Also, I'm obsessed with her bat tattoo on her back. I think it's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The, like, bat skeleton tattoo she has on.
That's right.
It's lit. You know how some people get, like, angel wings on their back? She just has, like, a bat skeleton. So we have her. We got that. I think that I might just be, like, honestly, like, grasping at straws, but I also, like, honestly think I'm onto something.
Okay, work.
Demi Lovato's Revamped. I mentioned that. She's doing her, so I don't, okay, let me look it up. Demi Lovato's, look, I opened Spotify, it's already open. But, like.
The Zach Rock version.
See, it's because, she's, like, redoing. So, obviously, what she means by Revamped is that she's, like, re-releasing her songs.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and, like, doing different versions of La La Land, bitch. Bitch. I listened to that song so much when I was a kid. I had that on my little fucking iPod Nano. Who says I can't wear my Converse with my dress?
Who says that?
Who says that?
Baby, that's just me. That's just me.
Have y'all seen that tweet where it's like, brunettes can wear jeans?
Who said brunettes can't wear jeans?
I don't know. Who did say that?
Not me.
Also, have y'all seen the tweet with the what's the
Heart attack.
Heart attack
There's like-
rock version. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, the loudest song you know just got louder.
And then they're like, retail employees are reeling right now. Like,
And
too much.
it's just the imagery, like, here for me, which is, you know, it's revamped. I'm like, and I think she's capitalizing off of just like the fact that this kind of aesthetic is coming back, even if obviously she's using it to just re-promote like old music, that like re-release her old music.
Yeah.
But also, I'm like, it just made me think of like the Hollywood like vamp aesthetic, right? Theda Bara, which I've actually never seen any of her movies, but I did research about her for like 308 one time.
Pause. Can I see a picture?
Yeah.
Theda
What
Bara.
you're talking about?
So do you guys know like what I mean when I say like old Hollywood vamps?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was a very fascinating like era.
I think so. Let me see. Can I
This is
We
like-
definitely talked
this
about this with Kathy Kakais. That's
Yes,
why.
it
Yeah.
is old Hollywood. There
Old
was
Hollywood. So you know like what an ingenue is? Like Mary Pickford, like sweet little like she's like sweet little
Girl
baby
next
girl,
door.
princess, girl
Ingenue.
next door. Vamp is like the exact opposite of
Oh my
that.
gosh, there's another cat outside.
So this is Theda Bara.
Yes. I know her.
Mother.
We know her.
Mother.
I just didn't recognize the name, but yes.
I have reblogged her on Tumblr many a time.
Exactly. She is, the exact opposite of the ingenue. I think one of the funny things about her too is that she just like has an entirely like fabricated backstory, which was like really common in old Hollywood.
But hers was batshit
was
crazy.
fucking insane. I don't remember the details to be honest, but it was just like they just made a bunch of shit up to make her seem like mysterious and like.
I feel like it somehow involved like Egypt.
I feel like it involved Egypt. I remember that too.
Anyway.
So I think I think she played Cleopatra at some point, maybe. But yeah, so anyway, I'm just kind of like, it's just like the vibe of vamp is like coming back.
Just so funny to me though, like historically, like men were like, oh, like the girl next door. Oh, that's nice. I like that. We should put that in media. And then they were like, ooh, but I also like the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood has been a supporter of the goth girlfriend.
Yeah, the goth big city girlfriend.
For a while, which is just very funny. I think that's just hilarious that they're like, oh, we can make moving pictures now. We should get goth babes in this. Like,
so true.
Stat. It's just, it's funny.
Get Kristen Ritter over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Demi Lovato revamped. Okay. Also, just like kind of related to that, but with like, I feel like vampires often have that like, I mean, like because you like have to die and then kind of be reborn as a vampire, and like she is clearly trying to revive her career, and like I don't know, so I'm just like she's doing something. She's doing something there. But then also, like I said, body horror. So I tangential, but like Bones and All came out last year, and like that's cannibals, but it's like that's not related to vampires.
No,
I think.
No.
Also because that particular story takes much more of a kind of supernatural approach to what cannibalism is, than other things, because they're not just like choosing to eat people; they like literally have to, because that's like how they're born. In that story, which was one of the most interesting. I thought that was a really interesting story. I actually think it was probably like one of my favorite movies that came out last year.
I did not see it, and I know Laura hated it.
Hated that movie.
I thought it was beautiful. I loved it. It was gorgeous. I thought that Taylor Russell was a really good actress, actually. But I don't know. Why didn't you like it? I want to hear.
Did not like it. I thought it was so boring. I thought there was like no real plot. I thought it was just like relying way too much on like the beauty and like the aesthetic of everything, than like actually like moving stuff forward.
I get that.
I could never ever root for anyone. I was like, what's? It was confusing. Like it wasn't clear.
You
I
weren't
didn't like
rooting
the
for
characters.
the girl?
No. I did not like that.
You're not a girl's girl. Whenever
She
you don't
got like
support
abandoned by her
cannibalism.
father at the beginning of the
I
movie.
felt bad for her.
I was like, aw.
But I was never like, I was just, I did not like it. There were many things. I like, it's been like a while that I can't think of everything, but it was like, there were many things. It was just also, for me, it was relying way too much on the way it looked.
Bones and All was really good to me, but like plenty of people didn't like it too, so like valid. And then fashion trends, goth resurgence. I've been seeing a bunch of like TikTok content about like how goth is back, and I think that is interesting because like the goth aesthetic was popularized in like the 70s and 80s, and there were a lot of vampire movies in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And like vampire stories are very gothic. Yeah. So,
I think it's interesting. The e-girl aesthetic, which was like not goth, But I think it's just interesting the like language around the subcultures, and a lot of times where people, you know, like the sexualization of that e-girl look, and then people saying, oh, like I want a goth girlfriend, and then it's a picture of like an e-girl.
And I'm like, that's not a goth.
And I'm like, oh, ooh, that's not a goth
That's so
girlfriend.
wrong.
A goth girlfriend, if you want a goth girlfriend, like they're about it. They're like, they're putting on the white foundation, they're drawn on the eyebrows, and like
They got the contour.
like they are listening to techno beats.
They got the Cure on shuffle.
They
are good.
I like so because I didn't know like there's actually so many different like
Kinds
sects
of
of goth
yeah.
culture.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. I like the like rockabilly one because that's like kind of like retro like 40s
Is that
vibes.
with the glasses and like
Cat eye glasses? Think like 40s hair. Think A-line
What
like
is
dress.
what is their name whenever they're not goth though? Just like
I thought it was.
Just rockabilly.
is it rockabilly?
What do you mean?
It's
like pinup. Like
pinup. Anyways, modern pinup girls I think are so funny.
they're interesting. There's so many Marilyn Monroes out there. Okay, and then obviously Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo.
Obviously.
Hello.
Which sexy vampire vibes. Like, I mean, obviously the person she's talking about is like a piece of shit.
Right.
But like
Sucks.
the music video kills. I think it's awesome. I wish she
video.
would have been a vampire in it, low-key. Or I wish, yeah, but
Her
I just think that would be cute.
MTV performance followed the music video, and she's so smart because
No, that was so smart. That probably, let's be real, that probably was not her idea. But like,
no.
I also thought that was super silly. I talked about it in the Bottoms and Guts episode because it's just like, yeah, have you seen the music video? You should watch the music video. I'm just obsessed with Petra Collins, so I'm going to watch everything that she ever does, including every single Olivia Rodrigo like music
Euphoria.
video that she makes.
You hate
Isn't that pain?
It's the worst.
They
It's
fucking
the worst.
stole her shit, dude.
They stole
I mean,
her
the thing
fucking
is
shit.
that I had said like
I'm
you
like-
can't do anything.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just don't like Sam Levinson. So
No,
thing.
he's a fucking
That guy sucks.
fuck. He's
that guy
sucks.
sucks.
I feel like so sad because I like had this like it had registered somewhere in the back of my mind. I was like, this reminds me of something. Like this is like a vibe.
It was her.
It was her. It was all her.
It's always been her.
And then you see the images, like photo collections that she has from years past, like way before Euphoria existed. And it's like, this is literally the
damn
exact
shame.
fucking vibe. And also the fact that she had used Hunter Schafer and Barbie Ferreira in photo shoots and cast them in the show.
And guess who's got beef with Sam?
Barbie Ferreira.
Barbie, and I believe Hunter as
Hunter
well.
does too.
Fairly certain. I'm not 100% on that, but it's like,
Are we
I
surprised?
wonder why. I wonder why.
Maybe because he's a fuck.
Because he sucks.
that aesthetic belonged to the girls. That show should have been for the girls. Instead, it's evil. Anyways.
Yeah. So her MTV music. What is the fuck? Music video awards. Her music video awards performance like mirrored her music video where the set was like falling apart. The lights were like falling apart and like sparks were flying and like shit.
Yeah,
This guy
and,
like ran out and like dragged her off the stage.
Fake stagehand like dragged her off.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then there was a viral reaction of Selena Gomez like not knowing what's going on, and she's like, what the heck? But then the performance continues, and everyone's like,
Someone on her team is like, ooh, we got shticks up our sleeves.
they're so smart.
We're
like,
gonna do little things.
They're gonna capitalize off of this like teen girl aesthetic for as long as possible, which is whatever. I think it's a pitfall. There's a bit of a pitfall like she should watch out for there.
Yeah.
But like they're
It's
winning,
fun
so
for
like
now.
they're making so much money. So like go off.
Yeah, no, I was telling Laura, I was like,
Get your bag, girl.
she's gone professional and teenage girl.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
Her resume is just like teenage girl. That's it.
Exactly.
which is like devastating for her because she's not a teenage girl anymore.
No.
So she's gonna have to cope, and then she's gonna come back.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna be a 21-year-old teenage girl. We're all gonna be like, yes, it's round 3, let's go.
I don't know why she chose this one, but so yes, Twilight Eclipse came out 13
Fun.
years ago. She released Vampire, her song, on the 13th anniversary of the release of Twilight Eclipse because she's a big Twilight fan.
Oh my god, that's
She is a big
amazing.
Twilight fan. I didn't know about the anniversary
That's
thing.
I heard her say it in
Crazy.
an interview, and I was like, "What?
Writing that down.
What?
Writing that down.
Eclipse?" Like,
I'm pretty
okay.
sure she was like her like team was like, okay, we need to release like in this window. And she's like, I gotta look up whenever the fucking Twilight movies came out. And she's like, I'll pick that one. Twilight Eclipse came out on that day.
That's
Yeah, sure,
crazy.
that one.
That one.
So now is y'all's time to shine because I I don't know much about Twilight. I've seen it,
baby.
but like I didn't see it for a long time. So, and actually, Eclipse was the first one I saw. Funnily enough, so
Eclipse is the worst one. Everyone looks busted as hell. Everyone's
not a good
you
one.
mentioned
Everyone
that.
looks dry.
Is that the one where they have the wigs?
Yeah.
Wigs.
You mentioned that.
It's
Okay,
bad.
yeah.
Sideburns. No one's eyebrows are done. It is dreadful.
It's really
They
bad.
made Robert Pattinson look bad.
And he's Robert Pattinson.
How did
He's
they do that?
It's a pretty guy. It's a pretty guy, and he looked bad.
No, I
Fucked up
Twilight.
what they did to him.
I love Twilight. It's so people. Here's the thing. I'll talk about this forever and ever. But people who don't like Twilight are so frustrating to me because it's like it's just like I feel like they have something to prove of like I have good taste. I don't like Twilight, it gives
Junior high
immature.
kid who says I hate Justin Bieber.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
sounds stupid.
But once you like get
Grow
past
up.
that and you realize it's actually like one of the best movies.
That is subjective.
I mean,
But speak your truth.
it's an iconic movie. It's so camp. Everyone knows about it. It's so fun to watch once you get over like
You don't have to
is
take it
good
seriously.
or is it bad?
Yeah.
It's just a fun movie and it's like you can really just like let loose with it.
Hey, I learned my lesson with that in Star Wars actually this year.
Yes.
So like I was just like I was confused when we were watching it. I was like, why are they all laughing? Why are they all laughing at it? I thought why has everyone been mad at me for not watching this for years? I thought we were supposed to take it really seriously.
No.
And we were watching it, everyone was laughing, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, you don't take it seriously and it's fun.
Star Wars is silly, man. Star Wars is silly. Taking it seriously is like how you get your feelings hurt.
For real.
I slipped into taking it seriously, and that's why I got really mad whenever Rise of Skywalker like came out, and I had to take a break. I was like, I'm feeling a lot of things right now because I'm taking it too seriously, and it's really bad. So you just have to have fun.
Exactly. You just have fun with it. You just let it be. You let it sit as its own thing.
And here's
you're
the thing.
like, it's just good.
The director of the first Twilight movie,
Catherine Hardwicke.
Yes.
Catherine Hardwicke.
It's kind of fucking insane that she directed that. Like,
It's iconic that she directed.
it's iconic.
she knew what she was fucking doing.
She did.
She's bad.
Because if you read the source material, if you read the books and you tried to do a very serious, like not campy interpretation of that book,
Absolute fail.
It would
Floppy.
just be
It's really
bad.
bad.
it would
Yeah.
just be bad.
Yeah.
She threw in hilarious shit. Like the spider monkey line, that's not in the book. What the fuck was that? No one thinks that's sexy. She knew what she was doing.
Hold on tight, Spider-Man.
Throwing on that crazy ass filter.
Yes.
That is a blue ass
The
movie.
thing
That was
is,
a
I
choice.
felt so cold watching it though. I felt like I was there. I was like,
It's so simple.
Eyes on Fire
Monkey
is playing
brain
right now.
sees blue, and I'm like, oh,
Oh my
it's so
god.
cold.
it's a little cold.
And it's raining all the
It's
time over there. So
chilly
like, ooh.
I'm so simple,
It's true.
and it's just like little things, like just the little touches of just awkward teenage shit, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that friend, that
The
random friend
worm-
that
the
shows
worm
up with
on
the
the-
worm. It's
the
like,
worm on the
look,
stick.
Bella, it's a worm.
It's a worm. It's a worm.
That has nothing to do with the
Okay.
plot.
What does that have to do with anything?
That's not
Yeah.
sexy.
But
That's what
it's
being a teenage
character
girl is
building.
about.
It
It's
is.
character building.
And if you read the books, have y'all read Twilight?
Yeah, but I was really young.
I read them during COVID because there was fuck else to do. And
Fact.
Bella is like so uninteresting.
Yeah.
So
Like Tris and
uninteresting.
Divergent, just a bad protagonist.
Yeah. Just a girl. She's just a girl.
Not even just a girl be interesting. She is just like a shell. She is like, what's that Bob's Burger? If she was a spice, she'd be flour. That's what Bella Swan was
Yeah.
in the books. And there's this big joke about like, why can't Edward read her thoughts? It's because she didn't have any.
Brain empty.
Brain empty.
Empty. So I think the choice to play up how like this incredibly awkward Kristen Stewart and just dial that up to 1,000 and let that just carry this character that didn't have a lot of legs is so genius. Because you could be like, damn, this bitch is awkward. But also, I felt like that.
Yeah.
I've been that girl.
Something that you can attach
got-
to.
yeah,
It's a mirror almost.
I've been hit with the volleyball and gym class, like, you know,
That
like that
sucks.
sort of like thing. And it's like, she's not a pick-me. She's dressed like a fucking lesbian. Like
She
She's
doesn't
wearing
dress well, yeah.
She's wearing bowling shirts every day, bro.
She just like doesn't care about anything either.
She's just so like
She's literally in the movie Bella is just so interesting because she really does not give a fuck about anything except getting that vampire dick. That is all.
Very sexy.
That is
very
sexy. Strong motivation, and that's all she's got going. Like, she does not have any other. She just falls into other circumstances, but like in the end,
she's like, I know what I want.
Like, her obstacles are like getting married so she can get that dick.
True.
Like, it is just she is awkward and she is in pursuit of that dick, and
that's it.
That's it.
So it's kind of genius.
It's genius.
So in a way,
it's honestly really genius.
Taking that source material, which is like, oh, this has no depth, and being like, all right, we're gonna run with the no depth thing, and we're gonna make a camp, and you're gonna watch this, and it's gonna be simple. It's gonna be straightforward. You would turn your brain off and just look at it, and you will get it.
It's gonna be like just hot people on a screen, good music, like
great music.
what else do you need?
it's just so perfect.
I think I already told you guys this story, but the reason that I had only seen Eclipse before I saw the rest of them was because whenever it came out, one of my good friends in elementary school, her older sister wanted to go to the midnight premiere of Eclipse for her birthday, and so her and all her friends were going, and my friend Michaela got to bring a friend, and I was that friend, and I had not seen the other movies. I just showed up, watched Eclipse at midnight when I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, 11 or something.
Yeah.
And then it was like, cool. And then didn't see the entire series, didn't see any more of that series until college, when my sister's college bestie, Natalia, like sat us down and made us watch all of the movies one year. And I'm so grateful to her for that.
The Twilight series is a very like older sister, like, I'm being dragged to this. Oh, this is hot, but this is weird.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Do I like this?
Do I like this?
My sister definitely like read all the books.
Yeah.
Like she introduced me to it. So yeah.
I talk about how hot Charlie is.
Yeah. How like you've grown whenever like you thought like Robert Pattinson was hot. Now you're like the dad. Dilf.
That's what everyone says. I don't know if I'll ever think he's hot, but like,
what?
He's so
cozy
sweet
and protective and like
well, that's true.
earnest, and he's like, I care.
But he like trusts Bella to like make her own
He's not a
decision to be her
helicopter
own
parent.
person. But then he's also like, oh, I'm
He's
so
like-
worried about my girl, my
He's
Bella.
like, are you okay? Like, I just want to take care of you and protect you. It's like, maybe I want that.
Me?
Maybe you could protect me. No, but okay, so we had seen like all the movies and stuff, and so whenever Breaking Dawn Part 1 came out,
The honeymoon one.
the honeymoon one,
Okay.
my dad took my sister and I to the theater, so backstory, like whenever like we watch movies or like we see TV shows and like there's an ocean and it's really pretty, the water's very blue ass water, if you will. My dad always has to point out, he's like, that's such beautiful water. Look at that water. That water is so blue. We'll be watching Survivor, and like we'll see like multiple episodes in the same place. He's always like, girls, look at that water. That water looks so nice. He's just a really big fan of like beautiful beaches, right? And so we go, like, we're in Eclipse, we're at the honeymoon, and they go to like Isle Esme, right? And on a beach.
Blue ass water.
Blue ass water. But what do they do in that blue ass water? They bone.
They smash.
They're smashing.
They are so naked.
They are smashing in. They're smushing in the blue ass water. My dad goes, "It's a really nice beach." And I'm like, "Holy cow! Shut up!
It's happening.
I was literally like 11 or 12, and I was like, "Please stop! He's like, "Really nice water." And I'm like, "They're literally naked right now. Stop!
Do not talk to me while they are having sex.
And I think
please.
he was like in the middle of my sister and I just remember I was next to him. He's like, it's really blue water. And I was like, ugh. I hated that. But
I would want to evaporate.
I wanted to. And then when I left, I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't my dad say that?
Oh my
They were
God.
having sex, and this is so awkward. It was beautiful water.
It was beautiful water.
He can't help it. He can help it.
Do we see male ass in?
No.
No.
We see his back. And we see very, very top, but like no crack or anything.
Okay.
Boo.
You see like little back dimples though.
Yeah. Not saying I want to see male ass, but I've had a lot of arguments about this.
No, yeah, like if but it wasn't an R movie. It was a PG-13 movie. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't see her boobs.
Yeah.
But
Which-
you see her ass.
Which it was. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you don't see any ass.
You don't see any ass.
No
okay,
ass.
okay, gotcha,
No
gotcha,
ass.
gotcha.
Yeah, because they show her back and
Yeah.
she like drops the towel.
So it's like fair. I'm fine with like nobody showing boobs or no ass. I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm. But if you're gonna see like some boobs, you gotta show some male ass.
And I don't like looking at male ass.
It's not like
I just
want to. I'm not begging for it.
No, I don't like looking at male
It's
ass.
just equality.
Equality.
Yeah.
It's called equality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look it up.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Anyways.
This is feminism.
What else is there? I would also just like to say that I think like the laugh that I let out whenever Rami Malek showed up in Breaking Dawn Part 2. Well, I don't even think he's in Part 1.
I think he's in part 2. So that's
Anyways.
when they're gathering people.
Yeah.
The laugh that I let out, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Fucking Rami Malek.
They had some heavy
Mr.
hitters
Robot?
in that movie.
Mr. Robot. Yeah, they had Lee Pace.
Lee Pace. They had
I love Lee Pace, guys.
Sheen. What's
Those
his name?
eyebrows.
Michael
I
Sheen?
love that man. Yeah.
Michael Sheen?
I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Michael Sheen,
Yeah.
who plays
He was
The baddie.
The one
evil
guy
Tory.
with the long hair.
yes, what's his name?
Yeah, he's got a kid with
Demetri.
Kate Beckinsale, I think, IRL.
I don't know, but I know they had some
Anyways.
heavy hitters in that movie.
He was absolutely
Dakota fucking Fanning.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Dakota Fanning.
Girl, the way that they did such bad makeup for her, like why was her
She
eyeliner
was, like,
always
busted.
so bad? And why did she always look so like cakey? Like her makeup was bad. Her makeup artist hated her. Like for real.
That's a bummer.
I just can't get over how bad her eyeliner was every single time, and no one said, "Hey, can we fix this?"
I really liked how in the movies, the way that what is the main bad guy's name? The Volturi. What is his name?
I
Sorry.
don't know.
Anyways,
Hezekiah,
no.
Jeremiah.
I know the really
Um,
sad one that wants to kill himself. His name is Michael, I believe.
Michael.
Finally.
That guy was so funny.
Yeah, one of the Volturi, like one of the main 3 baddies, he's he's one of the really old ones, and he's super depressed. And in like the final battle, he gets super jazzed that someone kills him because he's always been a little suicidal. And I'm like, what a crazy, like he has like 3 lines, and one of them is him getting killed and him going like, oh, finally. That's so funny.
What the fuck is
Why? I don't know. Hold on, Volturi.
What was his name? Are we talking about? We're talking about the Michael
Yeah,
Sheen
yeah,
guy, right?
yeah.
Okay.
What's his name?
Arrow.
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 God, don't look at me.
Anyways, I love how that character is played. He lets out the craziest, like
He's so giddy.
one of the best crazy people laughs. In like Joker Go Home, he lets out the craziest laugh whenever he meets Bella's kid, I believe.
Yeah,
He goes like, "Ah," and like just like, and it's like
he's creepy.
you don't get that in the books. Someone made a choice there.
No, yeah.
Speaking of the books, I want to talk about something real quick.
Okay.
So in the books, like in Breaking Dawn Part 2, they don't have like the final battle.
Oh yeah.
So in the movies, there's this. Do you know about this?
No.
There's
I've seen the final battle.
And
It's
then
like
they
the
realize
fake
that
out?
it's like not real. This is what would have happened.
Yeah.
In the books, that
Which was
didn't
crazy.
happen.
That's not what they
That's not
don't
happened in
play
the
that
books
out. Like
at
there's no
all.
like sentence that says Carlisle gets his head ripped off. That never happens in the books. Like it's
So-
never written out.
Because it's just like they just like show what's gonna happen and then they like kind of move on, and that's it in the book. So in the movies, people are in the theaters watching Carlisle get his head ripped off. They're watching people like die. Like they're watching like
All the
ground get
iconic
shook.
characters
Like
die.
die in horrific ways. And so whenever people are at like the midnight screening of this, they're literally freaking out. They're like, what the fuck is going on?
It's like
And so they're freaking out because they're like, they know the books, they know how it's supposed to go. And so when everyone is dying horribly, everyone's freaking out.
losing their shit.
And then like it's like oh, that's what would have happened. It's crazy. That's literally, I can only imagine the energy
Cinema.
in that theater at that time to be like 17 years old and be like,
Like actual hysteria, like screams, like fainting.
I'm sure.
Like that would have
The whole night.
if I could be anywhere in the world, I'd want to be in the theater.
I'm Breaking Dawn Part 2 midnight premiere.
Midnight for me.
So which one is y'all's favorite?
Twilight.
It's just the first one.
Or
I
New
think that's what
Moon.
most people say.
I do like New Moon. I think it's really fun. I think it's hilarious.
New Moon's funny. I don't think it's good.
I have to watch them all again. I don't remember what happens in most of them, TBH.
I like Twilight. I
But
like whenever she goes to prom, she's wearing a dress with leggings and a boot.
That's iconic. And then
Oh, like a boot? Like
Yeah,
a...
yeah, like
she
she
hurt her
hurt her
ankle.
ankle.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. But I think
Did she have a Converse on the other foot?
She did.
She did?
Yeah,
She did.
Of course.
Yes, ma'am.
I think she
You
is.
can wear your Converse in your boot with your dress. Wow.
Thank you, Demi Lovato. Like I said, in the first book, the first movie, she's just dripless. Her first day of school, she wears a bowling shirt.
Yeah.
I love that.
Welcome to the Eras Tour.
Okay.
Thank you, Taylor.
It's just a Taylor Swift thing started playing on my computer.
But I think
she's wearing a green bowling shirt on her first
I think
day
that's
of
kinda
school.
sexy.
She's so nervous. Oh, I do too.
Hot take.
But she's like not like that. She's supposed to be this girl that everyone's like obsessed with, but like to
She's
us, we'd be like, oh, I'm obsessed. You wear a bowling shirt.
but you look queer
Like,
coded as
oh,
fuck
you're
right now,
funky.
man.
Like, okay, I like
You
it.
look queer-coded as fuck, my girl.
You look cool as fuck and queer coded. You want to go hang out? Like, yeah.
But that's not actually, that wouldn't have worked at this time. And
No.
she just wore a green bowling shirt.
Nobody
for
would have been
first
obsessed
day of
with her.
school. No.
First day of school.
Twilight is a good movie though. I like
It's a good
Twilight
movie.
a lot, but I do really like Newman as well. Just because it's funny seeing like Edward's like apparitions.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah.
shit's
I
hilarious.
think it's very fun. And like also whenever like just the whole like introducing like the werewolves and stuff. I think it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about Twilight, which definitely I was like, I need you guys to talk about that because I'm not a Twilight
My favorite
girl.
topics.
Because I think it's just very formative of like what how our generation has interacted with vampires like in our lives, and in like it's dominated like the popular culture for our generation. Mm-hmm. And because it was largely inspired like Olivia Rodrigo, and then she is like bringing it the fuck back with Vampire.
We are so happy.
And going back to a second for what you were saying about like it being like a big sister kind of thing, it wasn't my big sister because she didn't like read the books or anything when we were kids, but when I was a kid, I was in like an art class over the summer, and I remember like learning about Twilight because these older girls in the class were like having like a Jacob versus Edward like argument. And I was just listening to this whole debate, and I was like, what the hell are they talking about? I had no idea what they were talking about. It's like eventually I like found out. I feel like I remember like just being there and they're having this whole argument. Who do you like more? Whose team were you on or whatever, and I was just like, what are y'all fucking talking about? And they were like, oh, like you haven't heard of Twilight?
Twilight.
And I'm like, no, I'm not like a horny teen girl yet. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
Give me a couple of years.
I'm in 5th grade.
Like, sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, those movies are very, very campy, which was, I think, a conscious choice because there was no way that I think they would have been nearly as successful if they were trying to take themselves too seriously.
No, it would have been like a CWS show type of movie, and it would have flopped, and it would have been a nothing burger. We would never hear from it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you think, because I know that the books became popular in their own right, like before they made the movies, obviously. That's why they ended up making the movies, but do you think it would be nearly as popular, like... I feel like the movies added a whole other dimension to like the whole thing. I mean, like, especially because they're so different than the books, right?
Yeah,
because they're like visual, and so then like people are like
people
even,
became obsessed with
like, the
Taylor
actors.
Lautner.
Yeah,
And that was
exactly.
the whole thing.
And then like and so then I'm just thinking of like the SNL skit of like Taylor Lautner being like team like Edward. Like, he's like playing a girl, like being Teen Edward, and so like that's.
There's also another
Classic.
very good SNL skit where it's Twilight, but it's actually Frankenstein, and
Taylor Swift is in it.
Taylor Swift's in it, and Bill Hader plays the Edward Frankenstein character. It's really funny.
I'm gonna look that one up.
Yeah,
But it's kind of a sleeper. No one knows about that one.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
A little more indie for you.
Anyways, back to vampires. Sorry.
Anyways, yeah. So Twilight, campy,
Good.
good. So
Wait, one more Twilight thing.
Go ahead.
Do you know about the 9/11 to Twilight thing?
Do you know about the butterfly effect?
It's really
yes.
'Cause
I've heard of it.
Okay, listen
guys,
up.
listen to this.
Listen up. So Twilight would not be here had 9/11 not happened.
Not gonna say that it was worth it, but no. Anyways, that's not my argument. That's not my argument. So basically,
9/11 happened.
9/11 happened. Jared Way,
Was walking to a class.
Gerard.
Gerard Way.
I was like, I knew they were a part of the story. Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
He saw like it happened
Lead singer of My Chemical Romance.
Yes.
Yeah.
and was like devastated.
He was devastated and became so emo that he created the band My Chemical Romance, My Chemical Romance inspired Stephanie Meyer.
No.
Wait, which was it?
It was E.L. James because 50 Shades of Grey, no?
50 Shades of Grey is after Twilight.
Is it?
Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey started as
Is
a
a Twilight
Twilight
fanfiction.
There it is.
Yeah, so then...
I
know that one.
Okay, so yes.
So My Chemical Romance inspired
Stephanie
Meyer, who's Mormon, fun fact.
What?
Yeah, which is
As
why...
if you couldn't tell from like the clothing description in the book.
In the book,
Oh, okay.
she's like,
Crazy.
I showed up to dinner in my favorite full-length khaki skirt, and I'm like,
And my favorite modest blouse.
literally blouse and full-length khaki skirt. I'm like,
What the
girl,
fuck?
that's a bad outfit.
Mormon coded.
Not cute. That's so funny.
I mean, that's why
Okay.
there's so much like discussion
Angsty.
around and angstiness around marriage and sex.
Makes sense.
because she's Mormon.
Makes sense.
Anyways,
That'd
Mormons.
be crazy.
Mom
if,
was
like,
sexually
in,
frustrated.
It'd be crazy if in the book they were like Jasper, can you like pounce the bed and they like soaked. Can you imagine if they did like a Mormon?
No,
soak?
I can't imagine because my brain is preventing that. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to hear about Mormons soaking in the Twilight universe.
I mean, I'm just saying it's a possibility. She probably wrote it out and was like, nah, not that. And then she probably like erased it.
Mormon body horrors.
Horrors beyond her comprehension.
Anyways, My Chemical Romance inspired the Mormon Stephanie Meyer to make Twilight.
Mhm.
And then Twilight inspired 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes. And then there's something that there's I
one
think there's
more.
one more.
There's a connection to Kermit.
Hermit.
The frog.
Oh, the frog right.
Yes. Oh, wait, no, this is a different thing. Also involving 9/11, but there is a movie, I believe it's Muppets in Manhattan,
Okay.
where there's a shot of Kermit in the future.
And the towers aren't there.
No, the towers are
Oh.
there, but then he like changes something in his life, so something good happens for him or whatever, and everyone's like, "Oh, the choice he made." Anyways, there's a connection. There's a connection to where people are blaming Kermit the Frog and the butterfly effect for 9/11.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a different thread.
But anyway, but you go.
Oh, yes, okay, I have
11 to Twilight.
9/11.
To 50 Shades.
To 50 Shades.
Pipeline. Yeah, I knew that My Chemical Romance played a part in that because in their first album, there's this song called like something. It's like Skylines and Turnstiles or something, and whatever. Yeah, he has a song about it because he like literally watched bodies like fall out of the sky. Yeah. Anyway,
And somehow we get to 50 Shades of Grey from that.
That's crazy.
yeah, like that's fucking
You know
insane.
what's cool? It's like
I don't think this is what Gerard Way intended.
Actually, this is so on topic.
Okay.
There is the son of the grandfather, and the grandfather of that grandfather fought in like the Confederate War or whatever. And
Okay.
so then like the Civil War, excuse me. He was
Okay.
a Confederate in the Civil War. And then the whatever. Anyway, the guy who's living now writes gay vampire fan fiction, which I love.
Yeah, so a very famous Confederate general, I don't
Yeah.
remember which one, and then the next one became like some sort of like war
it's something.
tactics person, very famous as well. And the next one became this really big billionaire business because of like old Southern money, kind of like the
Yeah.
Moody's or some shit.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the current one, because of all this wealth and the fighting and the honor, all became so that this one can do whatever he wants with his life because he has all the resources in the world.
Gay vampire fiction.
And he writes gay vampire
I
fiction.
love that that's what he's choosing to do with that legacy.
It's good.
It's awesome.
It's good.
It is good. This is for the better of like the whole world.
And it works with this episode.
It does. I love that. The Confederate general to gay vampire
Pipeline.
like what?
There's a lot of those.
No, why are there so many Confederates in vampire stories? It's kind of
stop
crazy.
doing that.
It's a
That's
thing.
weird.
It's
and
a
then,
thing.
And then in an interview, he's a plantation owner.
Yeah.
Interview who's a plantation owner. Okay, and then we have what's his face, Jasper
Jasper.
in Twilight, and
He's
then
a
we
Confederate
have
soldier.
Bill in True Blood.
And then also, what's his name in
The originals?
the Vampire Diaries? Wasn't Ian Somerhalder's character like in the
Was he? I don't remember.
Damon? Wasn't he
Damon,
in
yeah.
the Confederacy?
I don't remember.
Because they were in the South, so I'm pretty sure he was in the Confederacy.
That
Do they-
kind of tracks
Do
though.
they go through the Civil War in the
Yep.
the other
They're in the 1800s.
Well, I just think it's interesting. You know, history is so vast. How do we keep on ending up with Confederate soldier and plantation owner vampires?
It's like, that's weird.
That's weird.
Stop.
This
How
is all
is this
made up.
happening?
You can make them from anywhere.
Yeah, you could make them. And even if you do from the South, what if you just like don't talk about that?
Or like you could,
Or like
they could be a barber or
Yeah.
a butcher or like anything but plantation.
Just, like,
owner.
why is it always like something like that? Yeah, I'm like, why couldn't it be like, I don't know, there's just so many other things. I'm like, why don't we just like go back to the Revolutionary War or something
Yeah,
like that? Could be
that would be
interesting.
cool.
Like that would be interesting.
the British
Yeah.
suck.
Well,
I wouldn't be mad about either side that they were on. in
yeah,
that,
I think
though,
either
you know?
side would be cool because it's like, I mean, I guess the reason it keeps on going to the Civil Wars, whatever, it's just like this. There's always been this like romanticization of the
Yes.
South.
The Gone with the
And we have the
Wind.
Southern Gothic,
And then
we get
Southern
a lot of
Gothic.
Southern vampire set
You get a lot of
stories.
stuff,
That's
yeah.
true.
And then like New Orleans has that, connection to the stuff, and I
Yeah.
understand, but also
Just don't do
no.
It's played out at this point too. It's just
It's
like
played out.
we've done it.
It's
We've seen it.
embarrassing.
And I guess
Grow up.
vampires usually they are connected with power, and because they
Mm-hmm.
live forever, they are connected with old money, and that's how they
Mm.
get connected to slavery and stuff. So I understand, and I guess like slavery owners would be like that. They are like human capital evil people. So and vampires.
Evil.
Human capital,
Mm-hmm,
evil people.
Definitely.
So I see where the connection is, but it's just a bummer.
It's like we
Hey.
could do that.
There's other parts of history
Like
that
I'm
we
trying
can.
to have fun, like have a little.
I'm trying to
a
turn my
little
girl
vampy
brain
moment.
off, and you're just like,
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
I'm
oh,
bringing
you're
up the
making
horrors.
you're making me think about the
Yeah.
Civil War right
I don't
now.
wanna think
Like
about the Civil War.
I'm not trying to think about that. So let's talk about like our other things that we like other vampire media. We're kind of doing that just like by cycling through, but yeah,
Dracula from Monster High.
I was never a consumer of Monster High stuff.
I'm also a little confused on your Monster High obsession because I thought that came out after we were way too old.
Mind your business.
I mean,
thought maybe you should just mind
I
your
mean this in
business.
the nicest way because I literally like never even saw it until I was like in junior high or later.
I know I caught it in junior high when I was like still like I think 6th grade,
Oh, okay.
and I was like,
I just
no.
missed the wave. I didn't have
And
cable
also
TV.
just it's true.
Was not
No,
exposed.
and also
to
I
it.
just liked it because she had my name, Draculaura. Hello.
Hello, it's literally her.
Hello.
And also I think their Fright song is the Monster High Fright song. I think it's cunty as fuck, and I love that song. It's really fun. And the thing is, it's fun because it's like brats, but it's also like, like monsters. I love horror. I love like the supernatural. So it's like to take like brats and supernatural and put them together. It's just like, it's me. It's for me. I love it. It's so
It
fun.
makes sense.
It's good little
good
girl
stuff.
media.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mhm. And as
They could do like
a
the
little
chunky
girl-
highlight thing,
Yep.
and it looked
Yes.
awesome.
Mhm.
Like, yeah. I never, like I said, I never consumed it, but I'm like, I know the imagery very well. I remember seeing it. Like, I don't know why, but I remember like once I was in like high school, I remember going to HEB and it was like always playing on the TVs there for some reason. I don't know why.
That's really funny.
It like was always because they were always like pushing, like they had like lots of Monster High like toys and
Toys,
stuff, and then
yeah.
they would be like playing it. So I remember seeing like clips of it. So yeah, my
Thanks, Beth.
favorite vampire media is definitely. If you're pretentious
No
like
way.
me, you call it Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula because I'm annoying. I just think it's really funny to call it that.
Francis Ford Coppola, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
So yeah,
You didn't hit any of the names.
close enough.
All the way through.
Nosferatu.
You're like on ice, like.
We'll make it there. Maybe not in the most graceful manner, but by God, we will.
know what I'm talking about.
You get it. Yeah, I recently hit that with a rewatch. I watch it almost every year. It's kind of, I'm at a point where I honestly need to not watch it for a couple of years because it's like just
You
oversaturated
don't know.
my market of my brain. But that is one of my mom's faves. So like
Oh.
since I was a kid, we have always like watched that in the Halloween season. I don't know why she loves that movie so much. I mean, I do know why
iconic.
because I love it so
Because
much.
it's the most
Movie.
overstimulating, crazy theme park ride of a movie.
Yeah.
It is. It's so much. It's actually like ridiculous.
It's insane.
It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I want to look this up, by the way, because I'm curious like where it actually came from. If it came from like the old ass like Bela Lugosi like 1930s Dracula movie, but like there's lots of just like the cheesiest ass lines. Especially Dracula has like really cheesy lines in that movie. And good for him. Good for him. And at some point, whenever Keanu Reeves like comes to like stay at his estate, he like gives him some wine, and he was like, "Oh, I don't drink." He gives Jonathan some wine, and then Dracula's like, "Oh, I don't drink wine." And in Renfield, they were definitely like paying homage like directly to the Bela Lugosi one. Like Nicolas Cage like looks like the Bela Lugosi Dracula, and he says like something like that in there. So then I was just like, is that just like a thing that like happened in like an old ass like vampire movie, and then everyone was like, that's camp, that's funny, like I'm gonna put it in mine.
We're keeping that.
I think it might be a straight up line in the book.
In the book?
I think that, dude, reading that book, I was like,
that's funny.
There are parts of that book that just came off as so modern and silly. Because whenever I growing up, I thought Dracula, like the book, was a way older book than it is. It's not a very old book.
It's the 1890s, right, or something?
Like Coca-Cola, I think, existed like at the time that it came out. You know, like it's like I had the timeline wrong.
1897.
Yeah. It's a book from the 90s, you know? And I was just like, oh, okay.
We were all alive then.
We were 90s kids.
But yeah, I just remember reading it and I was like, this is so like silly and modern, and like it's like got like, I don't know, it's got this like I didn't expect like American characters and like this American
there's like the Texan.
There's a Texan in it.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Silly.
this is so funny. Texan representation in this iconic piece of vampire media. I thought that was really funny.
You know what I think is also interesting? There's like this thing, it happened, I learned about it like last year. It's just like called like Dracula Daily, and they'll email you like
Remember this?
like they'll email you whenever like the day, because it's a diary, right?
Okay.
So it's written as a diary, like Dracula.
Oh, okay,
and so it'll be like May 25th. It starts May 25th. And May 25th, like they'll email you that part of the book. And so throughout like the year, you'll get the book. And so it kind of helps build like the horror of like the different things that are going wrong. And so as it goes from like May to, I don't remember when it ends, like October. But like you'll get like each chapter, so you'll read Dracula over many, many months, like
as if you're living through it.
As if you're living through, as if you're reading the actual like journal entries and the letters, which I think is a really, really cool concept of how to like
consume a diary
book, and then also like make it like more interesting for people in now.
I want to do that with just like Kafka's diaries.
Oh gosh, that'd be so sad. Just like bummer after bummer.
It didn't have not all of them are bummers. Some of them are sweet.
Some of them are, but then some of them, whenever they're bummers, it's like, my lord,
this is an emotional.
Wait, so
guy.
is Kafka's diary actually like a thing?
Yeah.
You can read it?
Yeah.
Well,
I
don't think it's published as a full book. I actually don't know. But his entries are like everywhere.
I can't imagine like what the inside of that guy's mind looks like. I mean, like after reading some of his work, I'm like,
that is a very sensitive man. He is feeling a lot of things, and sometimes he's just going to be like, fuck up, dude.
hey, chin up.
Chin up. Your crown is falling. I really like how seriously you really sold on Dracula Daily, because I remember being a huge meme and you were just like very passionately defending like this is a beautiful way to consume a diary.
It was a beautiful way, but then also like all like the culture, like memes, like art pieces that came, like media that came out from it, I thought was so funny as well.
It is funny because it is consuming a book the way you consume a TV show that comes out weekly, kind of. Yeah. And it's like you're gonna have a piece of media to talk with all your friends who are also. It's like a timed thing, which is like lost art because streaming and the whole season comes out.
Binging, binge culture.
People used to watch an episode a week and all talk about it and then get excited for the next one.
But now it's just like, give it to me now.
Yeah. No one's using their critical thinking skills anymore.
No one's using any critical thinking. No critical thinking.
The camera is back.
Okay.
Camera's back, baby.
I have a fun fact. The reason why vampires have those super high collars is because they had to do that. There was a trick that they would do in plays on stage. I think it's like they're trying to make the cape float to him or something, or maybe he disappears into his outfit, or he needs to look like gone from his outfit or something. But in order to do that, they made the collar super tall and stand up like that. But that was like a famous vampire, like I think it's Dracula, like that's a famous. So people they're like, oh, Dracula just got this huge ass collar on. That's what he's supposed to look like, because but it's because they needed it for the costume, because I think the cape floated or something, but it was like attached and it like would float away.
Okay, yeah. Interesting.
But I want to do the research on that. I might just be like,
that's like what the fishing line was attached to.
Yeah, I think it was literally something like that. But that is why he's got this goofy big ass collar. And I think everyone just assumed it was like a neck thing protecting his own neck. But why would he need to? He's already a vampire. Maybe hide his like little bite scars. I don't know.
Something.
That's what I always thought it was. It's like, oh, he's ashamed of his little scar.
I just thought it looked drippy as fuck.
Good point. Or I thought there's some sort of like Victorian. I thought it came from a fashion thing. It did not. It was from a play, and they just needed to make his costume weird in order to make a trick work.
Interesting. I never would have known that.
Yeah.
Fun facts. You have come in with so much. You were acting like you didn't have much to talk about before, and I'm like, you have so much knowledge. What are you talking about?
Shout out to
that one professor who probably is a vampire married to a vampire professor.
Cuties.
I believe it.
Yeah.
They recreated this exact shot in Renfield with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that's true.
I'll put it side by side because it's like, it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
There were things about Renfield that were cool, but it wasn't good. It just wasn't good.
Do you think it would have been better if there was no Awkwafina subplot?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a bummer.
See it.
Yes, but also it still would have been stupid.
Okay.
Well, I'm okay with a stupid movie, but
Me too.
I hate wasted time in a stupid movie.
Yes, and they absolutely wasted time with this whole subplot that was just like not even fleshed out enough, but then still somehow took up so much screen time.
What was the subplot?
There's this like ring of criminal. Well, yes, there's romance, but it's more like okay. So she's a cop. Yeah. So there's like a police procedural like B plot in that movie, and her dad was also a cop, and he got killed by this ring of criminals and got away with it because they are like the police are all like bought by this ring of criminals basically, and so no one's actually like trying to catch them doing anything. So she's on this whole like thing trying to like catch these criminals basically.
Okay.
And then Renfield ends up helping her. He also has like superpowers in it, which was like, I don't know. I don't know if he has like superpowers like in the books, the actual book or something. And in Bram Stoker's Dracula, he's just fucking crazy. Like he doesn't in the Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula. I mean, not the book. In the movie from 92 or something.
Timeless to me.
Timeless. He's just a crazy man. It's Tom Waits. I think that's like one of the best casting choices that has maybe ever been made, like ever. Like I'm so serious. I mean that like full-heartedly. Yet another hot take: the casting of Tom Waits as Renfield in Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
You were saying these words. I love it. Who's Tom Waits?
So Tom Waits is a musician.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. He's a musician, but he acts. He's been in like lots of random stuff, and he plays Renfield, the like crazy guy who is Dracula's like servant who eats bugs and shit.
Yeah.
And in the new Renfield movie, Nicholas Hoult like gets superpowers from eating the bugs. It's just like yeah.
I don't know.
That's not.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm.
Wait, I was just like, what is he just like his own singer?
Yeah, he's got his like gravelly like rough voice. He's like a blues musician. He's got some good songs, low-key. But anyway, I think that was an incredible casting choice. I'll never get over it. Let me talk about this movie for a little bit. I'm obsessed with this movie. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. It is like one of the most gorgeous fucking things you will ever watch. Yeah. It's too damn long.
It's too damn long.
I have to disagree. I loved every moment.
I watched that movie.
I mean, I watch every single minute of it every single year. So
I watched that movie for the first time at your apartment. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking I did not know what I was in for. And I was sitting on the floor and I was like, my back hurts.
Yeah.
Like I was down there too long on the ground. I'm so sorry.
You're the one who introduced me to this movie.
Yes.
Like, I never
I'm
heard
forever
it.
grateful.
I'll say it. His best movie.
I don't disagree.
Ooh.
But none of us are Godfather lovers, so like,
no.
Yeah, I don't care for that movie.
Oh.
Oops.
But get back to it.
Yeah.
Talk. I want to hear this.
Shoot you.
I'm like, let me look at my sheet. I just love it. Okay. I have a hot take that I made on here like a long time ago. I'm just going to reiterate it. We all know, right? We all know, not just us in this room, but like the whole world. We all know, but us included. Us especially. We all know that Keanu Reeves is a bad actor, right?
He's not good.
He's not good.
But I love him.
But we love him. We accept it. We're like, you know what? You aren't good. But
That's okay.
We like you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just because he's also like, he's attractive, but he's not the most hot man ever.
No.
In fact,
Approachable hot.
in Bram Stoker's...
Yes.
Yes, approachable hot. Definitely. Real guy you would know.
Yeah.
Yes. We love him because he's a good person.
Yes. Oh.
He's a good person.
He's a sweetie.
He loves helping people.
Yep.
He's a sweetie pie. Sad Keanu memes. I love those. I relate. Like we just love that. But he's not the most handsome. He's like the young man in that movie, and even though half of the movie, Gary Oldman is like wrinkly and gross, whenever he is in their time period garb and he's got like the glasses and the hair and the, oh my fucking God, that was like no small part of my sexual awakening as a child. I'm not even joking, because like we would watch that, because we watched it every year when I was a kid, and every year we were all like,
nice.
Me, my mom, my sister were just like, here it comes.
Damn.
Awesome.
Even though he's Dracula, he's obviously like, creepy in that movie, but yeah. The editing is fucking insane in that movie. There's all these like crazy transitions, like the one with the peacock feathers. It's good. And then like with the eyes in the sky on the train.
Moon. Yeah.
Yes, the moon. Yeah. It's just like,
it's crazy.
they just were firing on every single cylinder except for Keanu Reeves' acting.
Yeah.
Which is so funny. It makes it like stand out as a gem.
Yes, no, genuinely.
What if he was given 1,000%? Then it would all be 1,000%, and then in that way it's nothing.
And then it would just be a too long
good movie.
melodramatic movie, and it would still be good. But it's just like it wouldn't be the classic that it is without some of the faults that it has.
Exactly.
Like, genuinely.
Keanu Reeves, whenever he was on screen, it was like a brain break. Because he's just so simple and bad.
The worst British accent you ever heard. And you know what? Winona Ryder's British accent wasn't great either.
It was not good. Neither was good.
It's just kind of like, I don't really know what they were thinking, putting them up against Anthony Hopkins and Gary Oldman. I'm like, what were y'all thinking?
That's tough.
That's rough.
I'll say it. I love saying the best part about an outfit is when it's a little bit ugly. And I think that really just applies to this movie.
Yeah.
The best part about it is when it was just a little bit bad.
It's just a little bit bad. Mm-hmm. And that makes it delicious. Like,
so scrumptious.
Yep.
You know, like, wait, have you guys seen American Hustle?
No.
God damn it. I'm going to force this friend group to watch it because it was really good. And like, but none of y'all have seen it for some reason.
Also, who's in it?
Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper.
I want to.
Louis C.K. Jennifer Lawrence's character has this thing where she was like, she has this like clear like nail polish that she likes to wear, and she has this thing about how she's like, she loves the smell of it, but it smells like kind of rotten, and she she likes like that it doesn't. It like smells good to her, but it's like not a good smell. That's this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It smells like gasoline.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, fresh cut grass. It's like, it's abrasive, but then you're like, I like it? Yeah.
Going in for more? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I love like pretty much everything about that movie.
It was...
The score is really awesome as well.
Score is good. The production design,
I literally remember my like Letterboxd review was just, this must have been a fucking bitch to edit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Didn't it have that one shot of that camera where it was like...
Yeah, they do like POV shots from Dracula's POV. Whenever he's like a bat, whenever he's a wolf, or like whatever, like they do POV shots, and it was like crazy.
I just remember the bat POV shot, and I was like, holy
fucking shit. And it's also a very sexy vampire. Can we talk about like why is so much like, we do sexualize them. So much vampire media is so sexy. There's obviously like just whatever's going on between Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder in that movie. But then there's Jonathan showing up at his castle and then like getting entangled with Dracula's wives, and it's like crazy. That's also like very much hearkening to like, I think like old cinema, like the way they did it, because they had like them like, and I think they reversed the footage of them so they look like really uncanny and weird when they're moving. Also one of Dracula's wives is Monica Bellucci, which is just like super random. It's like, what is she doing here? Like,
Monica.
Oh hey,
girl. Iconic Italian actress Monica Bellucci.
Yeah, what the fuck?
What you up to?
What are you doing here?
That's like the one that I'm always telling people to watch, even if I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna be for you. But it's crazy. You should watch it.
It's kind of, it really is like a theme park ride kind of movie. Because it's like sometimes you get on it and it's not for you and you're nauseous and you're like, that was overstimulating and too much and not fun. And then another time it's like, let's go again.
Let's go. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. I love that movie.
It's a great movie. I'm
so glad
that we watched it together. But I remember seeing like Jonathan with like all like the wives. I was like, oh
my-
my
what's
gosh, be still my heart.
And then they
my
like
heart.
eat a baby in front of him, and it's like horrifying.
Yeah. I think the sexiness of vampires probably is just, I mean, is it just like power dynamics? Because they're immortal and they're apex predators and they're like,
Yeah.
they have just a lot of power and a lot of money because they've been around for a while. It's about the generational wealth.
The generation.
Stop, because I'm like almost like I'm starting to think about what your classmate said about like them and furries, and I'm like, there's something like to like the animalistic part of them that we definitely like. Like
It's like this sexualization of like predator and prey.
yeah, definitely.
That's where it's all
Actually,
coming
a little
from.
helpless.
Hit the nail on the head, actually, I think. But yeah. So anyway, we don't have. I literally could have like an entire fucking episode about that movie and just like go in depth on like everything I'm obsessed with about it. The costumes, the production design, the score. I love Lucy's theme. Her friend, like also like all of Lucy's costumes are like crazy, like not period accurate. It's like insane.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's funny. I didn't even think about that.
I think
there's too much to think about in that movie.
There was a lot going on.
it was nominated for production design or something. Like it was nominated for some stuff. I don't know if it won anything, but. As it should have been. It was
Everyone
crazy.
who's watching should just go watch it and then come back so Emma can do a full, in-depth, hour-long talk about it. So everyone go watch.
Go watch and then comment when you have watched it.
And once we get enough comments, it's like Rita Ora. If she gets 100,000 tweets, she will release her album.
But then also,
Oh my God.
Emma does this whenever Emma wants to. So she doesn't release stuff on anyone else's dime. But
Yeah.
do comment when you have seen it.
But let me know.
That was a Rita Ora tweet reference. If anyone knows, they know.
I don't know, but that's really
You don't
funny.
know?
That's
So
really funny. I've
funny.
never heard that though.
So she said-
Rita Ora tweeted back in like what 2013, 14, something
2014.
like she was kind of starting out. She's like, if this tweet gets 100,000 retweets, I will release my album. And then it got like 10,000 retweets.
I think she got like 400 retweets. And
or
then
something.
she
And
said,
then she said, my account's been
actually-
hacked. I release my music when I want to. Anyways, it's so
I
funny.
release my music when I'm ready for it to be in the world.
Do we believe her?
No.
No.
Okay. I was like, I don't know if I
Absolutely
believe
not.
that. I'm not picking up what she's putting down.
Rita
No.
Ora, girlfriend of Taika Waititi,
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Wife. I think
No,
they're married.
wife.
They're married.
They're married.
Yeah.
They're absolutely married.
They're married.
Stepmother.
Can she fight? I like to see it.
Oh, I'm kind of over Taika right now. We're taking a break.
Okay. Love that for
And
you.
did you watch the
Easier for me.
Our Flag Means Death?
Yes. I haven't seen season 2 yet.
I haven't seen any of it.
No.
No, so don't say a word.
It's really good.
It's good? Okay.
It's one of my favorite shows. It is one of my favorite shows. Season 2 recently released, and I know this because I was on Tumblr Friday night. Which
Wait, you like actively still use Tumblr? I've been thinking about getting back on
do
there.
love
I think I
Tumblr.
will.
It's like one of it's one of my first loves.
I have
was
like
just
my
like-
old ass blog. I can still find it. It's cute.
I like it.
Oh, speaking of that, you used to make American Horror Story edits. We were watching Asylum last night.
We did.
After we saw
the best season, you mean?
Wait a minute. We saw the 1975 and then watched Asylum.
we saw we saw the quote whenever she goes, "All monsters are human." Literally,
Wow,
like we were
we had
living
a-
our
we had a
2013
Tumblr evening
dream.
last
That
night.
was-
I was wearing
Yeah,
a leather
no.
jacket with heart-shaped sunglasses.
Oh my god.
We were having a Tumblr evening.
I'm obsessed with that for
It was
you guys.
awesome.
Anyways.
Yes. Anyways, I do still like Tumblr. I'm not like on my phone, but like I was just like bored, and I was like, I'm just gonna.
I was
scroll
never
my
on.
laptop.
I was always very much a desktop Tumblr user, but yeah.
But yeah, no,
Show.
season 2 is out,
It's
and
cute.
I love that show. It's so funny. It's so camp.
It's funny.
check it
It's
out.
cute. But interestingly enough, I think Taika does not like the What We Do in the Shadows show.
I don't
He's
think
not.
that's-
He's
Okay.
not associated with it at all.
Yeah.
And he said a shady ass comment about. Sometimes you come up with creative ideas and people just, pound them into the ground and overdo them.
Oh no.
And it's like,
So I've been a watcher of the show for a while, but I just watched the movie for the first time yesterday, question mark? Was it yesterday or the day before? When
I
we
think
were talking about it.
Friday night.
Friday night. And it was good. It was very different from the show, and I didn't realize how different it was actually.
Yeah.
Before
the
going in.
movie is dry. The show is like kind of like Parks and Rec office type humor,
Mm-hmm.
character based humor, and then the movie is like dry New Zealand humor.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of like dead air,
Yeah.
which is kind of like tough to get used to at first. And once you're in it, you're like, oh, I get it. They're all just like silly.
Yeah. It was really
They're
funny.
chilling.
I
They're
very
silly.
much enjoyed it. I love because the other guy, the co-creator guy, that guy is the guy who was in like Flight of the Conchords, right?
I believe so.
Okay. That guy's really funny. I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked Taika being like the main character, kind of the dandy vampire. Like, I liked how they had all of the vampires from different eras in the movie. Like, they have a Nosferatu character.
Yes.
They have a Vlad the Impaler character. They have like the dandy vampire.
The Nosferatu one, like, he like genuinely has a very good jump scare, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah,
Scared
yeah.
the shit out of me.
No, he was creepy as fuck. Oh yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, it was really funny. I think that like I like the show. I get what he's saying. I mean, it's a little bit more maybe like dumbed down or something from what they were doing in the movie.
I don't know if I agree
Like,
with
sorry
him.
that this made you a bunch of money, bro.
Yeah.
He's still he's credited as an executive producer. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He just said that shady comment. I don't know how he really feels about it. I don't know if I agree with him. I've only seen a couple episodes of the show.
If you don't know, though, like, What We Do in the Shadows is a mockumentary, like series and movie where it's a bunch of vampires who are roommates is, like, the most basic premise of it. They're just, like, live together. It's cute.
Yeah, it's cute. Well, does the show also take place in New Zealand?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's in America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that you lose a little bit of that dryness
Definitely.
to it. Yeah.
Definitely.
No,
Yeah, they have, like, reasons that they ended up in New Zealand, too, like the vampires in the movie.
they're all kind of just like fun little outcasts.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's silly.
It's silly. It's funny.
I had another vampire fact.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it may have gotten debunked. But I can't remember what the debunking is. So I'm going to share misinformation, and then people in the comments down below correct me what the real story is.
Yes.
But the original fact that I learned that I think has been debunked is that, you know how you're supposed to kill a vampire with silver?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
silver hurts them. Wooden bullets.
That's
it's a what?
Silver hurts them though. Like,
silver hurts them. It's like werewolves. You're supposed to use like silver bullets, but like
with vampires, it's wooden bullets and stakes.
Yeah, but there's some connection between silver and vampires, and them not going. Those things they don't go together. Vampires and silver, and the reason they couldn't see themselves in mirrors is because mirrors used to be backed with silver.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why they couldn't see themselves.
Oh, that actually makes sense. I was wondering about that one. I was like, the mirror one specifically is like,
where did
it
that come from?
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't seem like it would have any obvious origins.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't, like the other, like them like, you know, being averse to like crosses. I'm like, okay, yeah, makes sense. They're like,
demonic-ish, and they're immortal, so
sacrilegious. Like their very existence is like sacrilege, right? But like, I mean, like at the beginning of Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula, he literally like after his like GF like kills herself because she thinks he like died in a battle or something, he like stabs the cross, like a crucifix, and that's why he like turns into a vampire, because it was like he has like
done something blasphemous,
like against God. So like the cross makes sense. That one I was always like, what is the deal with the mirrors? So I okay, but that's been debunked.
Yes, I don't know what the actual origins of the mirror one is, but the popular fun fact theory that I knew was because they used to be backed with silver. And the meaning that modern vampires could look in the mirror, because our mirrors are backed with aluminum, I believe.
Yeah, we're not using precious like metals on our mirrors anymore.
That'd be way too expensive.
I'm like, I can say it makes sense. People probably like not everybody could afford to have a mirror like back in the day, probably. Mm-hmm. Okay, I also really liked The Hunger, which I know you guys haven't seen. It's an 80s. It's in the, so, you know, I was talking about like 80s movies. I mean, like The Lost Boys is one of the famous ones. I actually haven't seen that one. That's like a biker gang, like a teenage boy biker gang kind of like vampire movie from the 80s.
That's awesome.
I actually really would like to watch it. And then The Hunger is another one that is really interesting. I mean, it's kind of like, honestly, I don't love it. Mm-hmm. The thing is, I'm like talking about it because I got obsessed with it when I was younger because it has David Bowie in it.
Right.
Nice.
Naturally. I love that man. So, but it's interesting. Oh, it also has Susan Sarandon in it.
She's
and Catherine Deneuve, like the French actress. She was in like, I don't know.
Okay.
She was in fucking like the young girl, the umbrellas are like
Chernobyl.
Cherbourg or like whatever. Yeah. Which I haven't seen, but anyway, she's a French actress. Mm-hmm. She was like older, and she's like this like very elegant like vampire in the movie, and David Bowie is like her younger vampire lover, but he like dies, and she's like obsessed with like I don't know, I like can't remember why he ends up dying because like why does that happen to him? But
Sorry,
she's like obsessed with like obviously like she doesn't want that to happen to her, and then like Susan Sarandon is this like Sarandon. I don't know. Is that
Susan
Sarandon? She is like a scientist, like a geneticist, like studying like the process of aging, and like she's trying to find like a way to like stop aging. And she becomes like kind of like entranced by this like beautiful vampire, and then like is like kind of using her to study her too. But then they're like also like
Sounds gay.
lovers, like yeah, it's a little gay. But The Hunger is like an interesting one, and it's very 80s. Like I'll show you guys some of the imagery of it because I think that's part of why I like it. It has that very like I don't know Blade Runner kind of like 80s 80s sci-fi kind of imagery.
Is it mise en scène or is it mise en scene?
I say mise en scène.
I say scène as well.
There's
That's
this
what I
like
was taught.
that's how I was taught.
Oh, yeah.
There's this like this is like from the opening scene of the movie. They're like at a club, like picking up some like young clubbers to like take home and fucking devour. But it's hot. It's like ooh, like this is kind of I don't know. They're cool. They're cool, edgy vampires.
I wanna watch this.
It's interesting. Like I'm saying, it's like not the best movie you're ever gonna watch.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I think like the art for it was like also very interesting. I was
The
very
art
like
looks cool.
like
It looks
look
like
at this.
Looks like Grimes drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tight.
So and that's the Ankh, which is like that Egyptian symbol, right? Anyway,
Ooh,
so
connection to 30s queen. What's her name?
Theda Bara.
Theda Bara. I was
Yes.
gonna say Greta Garbo. I'm like, that's completely wrong.
That's
She was somebody though. She's an
She was
actress.
somebody.
Yeah.
Name
So
the name?
that here's like one of the cool like punk chicks that they take home from, and he's like about to eat her. Anyway.
wow.
Anyway, I'm like the Hunger is like good for vibes, for imagery. And then we both watched the Vampire Diaries when we were younger.
We did.
Something that I made a note of was just that they like stuck to like in the first couple of episodes they use a lot of like vampire tropes that they ended up ditching later on. Like I don't know if you remember that in like the very first episode they have like the you know how like okay if we're talking about like classic like vampire stuff. We were talking about the mirror and like other stuff. There's like them being able to shapeshift, them being able to like even like not just shape shifting, but like communicating or like controlling different animals like birds or rats or fucking like butts or bats or like whatever.
Butts. Birds or rats or butts. Sorry.
And then like yeah, in the very first episode of the Vampire Diaries, like there's something about like Damon like controlling a fucking like
a dog or something, right?
bird or like some shit, and then he's also like, oh, you should see what I can do with the fog. Like he says this stuff, and I'm like, they ended up like totally ditching that shit,
I don't remember
and it
any
just
of that.
became like whatever 2000s like vampire media was, which wasn't some of that classic whatever.
You should see what I do with the fog.
Yeah, he
That's
literally like said
awesome.
something exactly like that, and I was like, what? And then they didn't ever bring it back.
Boom.
He never does anything with the fog. Guys,
You should see it. You're not gonna, but you should.
you should have seen
Because
it.
I remember they had like daylight rings that they could like wear rings and like be in the daylight.
So stupid, actually.
I remember like the entering the house, like the entering.
Yes, having to get permission to enter.
They had a
space.
shtick about the entering thing.
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel like that one gets left behind, and that one makes me laugh.
That one they
the
did-
little tricks people do
And
to
what
get in.
is that one? Like, why? That's one where I'm like, what's the origin of that?
What's the origin of that?
I don't know that one, but I think that's why I love that one.
curious.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Fun, but I remember like someone
goofy.
sold the house or something like that. Like the deeds changed, and then they couldn't
Fun fact.
like go into their own house. Do you remember?
Oh
that?
my god, yes. yes.
Like,
yes.
like their house got sold, and then they couldn't enter
Just
their own
real
house.
estate horror.
Yes, yes. That one.
I'm like, why does their like vampire law abides by like real estate law?
real estate
Like-
law? Like as soon as like the deed got changed, they were
He's
like,
I can't get in my house. Let me in. That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
So we can both agree
fucking
that
funny.
Damon is the guy, right?
Damon is their boy.
Damon's the guy.
Damon's the boy.
It's like, who the fuck is... I don't care about Stefan.
I hated that show. I hated that show a lot. I don't like that show. It's not very good. It was so annoying.
I hate watched a lot of it.
It was-
I don't know why I watched as much of it as I
Elena
did.
sucks.
She
Elena
sucks.
It took me
Worse than Bella.
years to finish that show. Literally, I think it took me 2 years to finish that show. They did Bonnie so wrong every single time. They
Oh
did
yeah,
Bonnie
they always
so
fucked up
wrong.
Bonnie. Bonnie's the friend who was a witch, right?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my god. Rip Bonnie, dude.
Matt became like a cop, and he was always awful.
Dude, why does the brother in True Blood also become a cop? He becomes a cop as well.
cops,
He does?
slave
Was it
owners.
Jason?
Oh my god, you didn't get there.
No, I couldn't continue.
No, that's fine. I stopped at some point because it got like stupid. But
it was fun though.
it was fun for a while. It lasted. Like,
Vampires, please stop being slave owners and cops.
for real. I got really like I had a huge True Blood phase last year. You guys know this.
I mean, that was on our trashy teen show.
Yes,
episode.
we talked about trashy teen, and that one's not a teen show necessarily. I mean, like it definitely could be. I would have watched it when I was a teen, but I'm watching it now when I'm just a 24-year-old teenager.
Exactly.
And I got obsessed with it. I actually think that the premise of that show was like a really interesting modern like way to tell a vampire story.
Yeah, I
genuinely
agree.
with like socio-political like factors at play, like a much bigger like thing is happening with this whole like movement. I don't remember what they're called. There's like a board of vampires who are trying to basically like bring into law, like have like it's like the ERA but for vampires.
Yeah, vampire
No,
rights.
like it's like they have a whole vampire rights campaign. They want vampires, which I'm like, why are they fighting for their rights? They could literally just like fucking kill every human. Like, why isn't it that the humans are having to beg for their rights from the vampires? I'm confused.
It makes sense because they're like we want to live in harmony, we want to live in peace, and we can't. Do that
It's
if
the
you,
good vampires because they're trying to pose
Yes.
themselves as like, yes, some vampires are savages and we are not them. We respect human life and we don't want to kill people and we want to be like viewed as equals.
What do the vegan vampires in True Blood eat?
True Blood. So it's a
True Blood.
brand. It's a brand
Yeah.
of like fake blood. It's like it was
It's
made
synthetic
in Japan,
blood.
and it
Invented
has
in Japan.
all the nutrients that they need, and it's called True Blood.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Whenever I was watching the show, I was like, no way.
No fucking way.
It's true.
That's one of the things you learn like at the very beginning of the show. And it's just like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it was a really interesting premise at least. And it's based on a book series. That's eventually I realized that's why it was so good. I was like, it's based on a book series. They
So
didn't
everything
just
was
come up with
thought
this.
out and planned.
Yes. I do think I ended up, I think they strayed from the book series at some point and that's when the show starts turning to shit. Like
Classic.
as it does.
Typical Game of Thrones moment.
Yeah. And it stars fucking Anna Paquin as Sookie Waterhouse. Anna Paquin, second youngest Oscar winner like of all time. Mad respect. I know I said this on the podcast, but I was like, there's two things that she throws her whole Anna Paquin-ocy into, and it's screaming and it's crying. She puts everything into it. Sometimes I think she's not a good actress. Like sometimes I'm like, what are you doing, girl? But when she's screaming and she's crying, I believe it. I believe every moment of it. Heartbreaking. So she's not a vampire, but she's like a like
a vampire. Like she's advocating for like their rights and stuff.
Yes,
And
she can
what
read
is
thoughts
she?
though. She's supernatural too.
Yeah, she can like.
So if you don't care, I'll spoil it for you.
Can you spoil it?
She ends up like she's a fairy. Like she's fae.
Are you joking?
Yeah, so they have like powers too. Yeah, she like comes from a line of like fairy. So and there's a whole thing that's like shrouded in mystery. Her and her brother's parents like died when they were kids, and so they don't really know like. I guess that stuff, but then they didn't know that like they were involved in this whole community, and I think they were killed by vampires, her parents. But it's like, but all this stuff like comes to light like later in the show. But she falls in love with a Confederate soldier fucking vampire who comes to town, who was like one of the original vampires of the like town, the founding vampires of the
Bon Tom.
founding Bon Tom. Good times.
Good time.
What happens to Skarsgård?
I never. Oh, I did see him.
Oh, yeah.
I did see him
Because
He makes political moves, dog.
Oh, slave.
Yeah. No, so does
Is he
Bill
like a
though.
big conhead?
So Bill ends up, they have a whole also like separate governing system of the vampires from like the regular US government. And they have like kings and queens of different like regions and states and stuff. And Bill works his way up to being like the king. But you find out it's like, it was like a long time coming. Like he had this relationship with this woman who was like the head of the big like coalition that's trying to like, you know, the woman who's like always on the news in the
TV,
show?
yeah.
He has like a long-term relationship with her, not like romantic, but just like a relationship with her, a working relationship. Literally. And so eventually he like he's right in place and he gets like moved and he gets to be the king.
Another fun fact, once again, this might be misinformation. I might be pulling this out of my ass, but I remembered whenever you said fae, I was like, oh, I have another fun fact. And it connects fairies and fae with vampires.
Okay.
Sesame Street, the Count. Why? You know, you think it's like funny, it's like the Count, he counts. But there's this old like superstition or whatever. Like if you ended up in like a situation with a vampire or a fairy, it originated with fairies. I think it somehow got into vampire lore. Okay. But if you needed to distract a fairy to get away from them or a vampire to get away from them, you spilled like rice in front of them, and they couldn't continue on chasing after you until they counted every piece.
Yes. I remember this. Now I completely forgot about this, but now you like say it. Yeah.
I've never heard that before. Mm-hmm.
Super autistic pilled.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, what? Where did they like?
Anyways,
like okay,
so that's
count my rice.
It's like, oh, you want to chase me and kill me, bitch? Rice. Count that like, shit.
Count this, bitch.
Anyways, so
that's interesting.
There's a vampire connection to like that fairy lore, and then also it's just funny the count.
Yeah, no, that is funny.
He counts.
He does. He counts.
Anyways,
and True Blood is also set in Louisiana.
Yeah. It's a very small town, Louisiana, not like New Orleans.
Like, what is the like origins of the Louisiana vampire thing again? Like what is there anything? Is it just the connection to like voodoo?
I don't know.
Because there just seems to be a lot of southern connection. You never get you get northwestern vampires
with Twilight.
You never get northeastern vampires. You don't get Bostonians. You don't get New York vampires, really.
It's just like the Southern Gothic of it all.
I think it's Southern Gothic.
And then also, like the supernatural like area of like.
And I think it also is
like
just
the history.
The Bones and All was a Southern Gothic, even if it wasn't all set in the Southern. I want to see where What We Do in the Shadows, like the Okay, I thought it was set in New York, but I wasn't sure. The show was set in New York. It's set on Staten Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Staten Island.
That's where they live.
That's funny.
Yeah.
No way, Staten Island.
Staten Island vampires. That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
I want
Long Island Medium, Staten Island vampires.
I love Long Island Medium. It's mainly the SNL skit.
You should watch it.
Really funny.
You should watch it. It's Kate McKinnon as Teresa Caputo going, your father, did he ever talk about the sauce a lot?
It's awesome.
And then she's like, he wants you to know that he's at peace and he has the sauce.
I love that.
And then she's like that for 2.5 minutes.
You know that little jiggly thing? It's like a rock
carabiner,
a little carabiner.
It's a little
and then
jiggly thing.
It cuts to, I forgot her name, but she just goes, my brother died in a climbing accident.
No, my whole family died in a climbing accident.
She just like,
wow, I really am a medium.
That's really
and then
funny.
there's always a Daniel Craig jump scare as her husband.
What?
Daniel Craig jump scare is super funny. I love when Daniel Craig's on SNL. I could talk about that for an hour.
Yeah. Oh boy. Ooh, Poppy.
Anyway, sorry, got off track again.
No, you're good. Yeah, I have like nothing. I have like nothing else to say. Just that, whatever. You heard it here first. Vampires are back.
They're back.
They're back. And if you thought anything different, you're wrong.
Incorrect.
And if they go away, just know they're in the shadows.
They're actually back.
And they're gonna come back again.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. This was fun.
Thanks for having us.
This
was a great conversation. I love fall.
Fulfilled. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, thanks for listening, guys. This has been an episode of the Mankheads podcast. You can follow us on Instagram and YouTube and all that jazz and stuff, so
For sure.
see you next time.
Cool. Bye. Bye.